Since 2003, the Coastal Studies Institute has been a multi-institutional research partnership engaged in coastal and marine science research in northeastern North Carolina and around the globe. The founding director, Dr. Nancy White, led CSI through its formative years, providing leadership and direction while construction was completed on the Research Education Campus in early 2013. Dr. White retired in the summer of 2017, leaving a legacy of program building and partnerships. A national search for her replacement was undertaken by ECU and CSI and led to the appointment of a new director and dean of the newly formed ECU Integrated Coastal Program. Dr. Reed Corbett has been chosen to lead these efforts and guide CSI and ECU's coastal enterprise in this new stage of its continued development as a coastal and marine research institution.
I'm Reed Corbett. I'm the Dean of Integrated Coastal Programs and the Executive Director at the Coastal Studies Institute with East Carolina University. I was born and raised here in eastern North Carolina. I left for a while to get a couple of degrees, and I was lucky enough to come back. I've been at ECU since 2000. I started off in the Department of Geological Sciences, and as part of that, as a young assistant professor, working here on the Outer Banks and in coastal North Carolina. And I understand our communities because of my background. So my research background is really focused on land-ocean interactions. Whether it's my PhD, which focused on groundwater and its influence on coastal systems, to some of the work here that I've done in North Carolina since coming back, including looking at shoreline change, the influence of storms on shoreline erosion, studying water quality here in the Albemarle Pamlico system and sediment disturbances. We've done a lot of work on sand resources off of our coast. My love of the coast is really at that interaction, that boundary between land and ocean, the influence that humans have across that boundary, and the changes that are taking place, and the influence that we have on those changes moving forward. Coastal Studies Institute is a multi-institutional research partnership across several universities within the UNC system. And we are focused on developing and bringing together scientists and working on developing a more resilient coast. We want researchers, active teachers, as well as engaging the community to be a part of what we're doing here in eastern North Carolina. Coastal Studies Institute is here to create a marriage between natural and social sciences. It's critical if we're going to understand the changes that are going to take place in the near and potentially distant future. As part of that, we have to engage the community, right? So our outreach program is critical to what we're also doing beyond just the research and the education. The Coastal Studies Institute and the Outer Banks campus is going to experience significant growth over the next several years. ECU has made a real initiative to expand its coastal enterprise. And what we're doing is bringing multiple programs under one umbrella, the Integrated Coastal Program. And so as Dean of this program, I need to link our Outer Banks campus, the Coastal Studies Institute, with all of the great researchers, all the great work and education that's being done on our main campus. And that's what we want to do, is look for ways, innovative ways of teaching across these two campuses, looking for ways to bring ECU students and other university students out to the Outer Banks campus. There's no better way to educate our students than to have them in the environment, to bring classes out here, take them in the field, bring them in our labs, and really demonstrate the dynamics of the system, the resilience of our community. And that's one of my primary goals, is to get additional researchers, students at the undergrad and graduate level out here to experience our coastal system firsthand.
The dual enrollment program gives high school seniors a chance to experience a trade that they may pursue after they get out of school. In a lot of cases, students will have to end up graduating high school and then go to a postgraduate school to pick up a trade. Here, they get a year start on that education. The field is wide open. You've got air conditioning, you've got refrigeration, automobile air conditioning. Once you get started and you decide what part of the trade you want to focus on, this course will help you succeed in that endeavor.
The lab's great because it's set up to where you can be really hands-on. You have access to multiple different kinds of units. It's a really good way to learn. Our professor is very knowledgeable and understanding with us, and it's a pretty enjoyable class to be in.
The HVAC program is great because I'm getting a college-level education for completely free through dual enrollment. It's teaching me a trade I can take anywhere, so I'm almost ensured that I'll have a job after I graduate.
We need to have young people come up and replace the folks that are retiring. Okay? You have to have a steady flow of talent coming into the field to replace the talent that is leaving the field. In this dual enrollment course, we spend about half the class on curriculum, we spend the other half in a lab. And I supplement the curriculum with my experiences. We're dealing with the type of equipment that they will find out in the field when they enter the field. If you drive down the main road, you're going to see restaurants, you're going to see supermarkets, you're going to see all types of commercial buildings, and every one of them has some form of air conditioning or refrigeration in there. And these units have to be maintained, they have to be repaired, and when they age out, they have to be replaced. There's a constant source of work available for someone who wants to get into this field.
Our China partnership was a partnership that we formed in 2008 from a grant funded through the Center for International Understanding, which is a subsidiary of UNC Chapel Hill, to partner with schools in Jiangsu Province, China, and formed a partnership with our sister school in Wuxi. We've hosted hundreds of students now over the years who have come to partner with us. They spend several days in our schools here, and then we travel in alternate years to visit their school in Wuxi.
We have students at all three high schools, Cape Hatteras Secondary and Manio High School and First Flight High School, who host students. All the students are going to classes with their students, and our teachers all had warnings so that they'll be prepared to greet the students and also have some sort of opportunity for the students to make connections about what our students are learning and, more importantly, how they're learning and what and how they learn back in their home school in Wuxi.
These kids have found a connection with someone who lives on the other side of the world. These relationships continue. They stay connected. Kids love it, teachers love it.
Everything here seems to be different in China, and this is an amazing experience.
The students and their parents will come to your school and have a good experience here. They must know more about your culture.
So I think if you want to be a great man, you should put your eyes, sight in the world, but not in a country.
This year we have a student in our home, and watching the students bond and watching the students get excited about learning so much about a culture that's completely foreign to them on both sides is one of the most heartwarming things that I experienced from this. Those experiences that touch the minds and hearts of our students and their students that make this partnership all worthwhile.